What's going on, guys? This is Coach Cheeks. In today's video, the 13.12 3 most broken champions for each role in the game. Now, if you watch yesterday's video, the 20 most broken champions, you will probably hear some of the same champions here, okay? But these champions, well, it's not a champion pool I'm recommending here. I'm just going through 1, 2, and 3 for each role. So if you want to actually abuse the system, if you want to abuse these really good meta picks in your current elo, then make sure you stick around for the whole video. But if you do really want to improve, guys, there's no point like picking one of these champions that just expecting to win. You need to know certain mechanics and intricacies on these champions, so please make sure you check out our website down below at GameLeap.com. I myself, along with our other challenger players and coaches, are uploading daily videos for your benefit. I've coached to rank 1, I've coached to challenger every single role. Whoever you are listening to this video, bro, I've already helped you out. Please just sign up to the website. You will know why after watching a video for like a minute. You will feel the power. So if you want to unlock your potential and unhard stuck yourself, that's the only site you need. Again, link down below. So yeah, let's get into the 3 most broken for each role in 13-12, starting in the top lane. And coming in at number 3, we have Olaf. This champion with Flash and Ghost, and you also have a variety of mythics as well. So you can go the new Stridebreaker with the extra 60 AD. You can still go Ravenous Hydra into Jackshow. That is still possible, especially if you have a really free lane. There's even builds out there where you go Ravenous Hydra into Trinity Force and stuff like Hullbreaker. So it's an amazing patch for Olaf. Just be a little bit careful, guys, if you pick the Laf, that you don't run into something like a Vayne, or even Warwick does very well, GP of course, because it's very hard to stick to that guy and run through his barrels without your ultimate. But yeah, for the most part, this champion is amazing, so definitely think about having him in your champion pool. Now, coming in at number 2, we have Jax and the Grandmaster at Arms. It's another patch, and it's another like S+ tier patch as well. I don't know what Riot are doing, bro. Like Jax, even Olaf, right, and lots of these other champions have been here for so long, and I'm really bored talking about them. Like Trinity Force Jax, if you're snowballing, right, or against a champion in the top lane who's really squishy, so you might be against someone who's not going to build that much HP, you can go Trinity Force. If you're against someone with lots of HP, of course go Divine Sundra, because the HP shred is so important. But ever since they changed Jax's like kind of passive through his auto attacks, it's every 2 auto attacks now you're doing the enhanced damage. And of course, because you're still maxing your W, this power, this actual damage can be off chops even at level 6. So he's still a very powerful champion. If you're going like lethal tempo, or if you're going Grassly Undying at a tricky laning matchups, the champ is still unreal. So Jax is number 2, but maybe not as unreal as the number 1 champion, this being Fiora. Again, I cannot remember a patch where I have not mentioned Fiora, just like Jackson, just like Olaf. And a bit like Olaf, Fiora has a variety of mythics as well, guys. You can go Divine Sundra into HP, you can go Trinity Force if they're really squishy and you're snowballing, you can go Gore Drinker if the enemy team is very close range, you can go Stridebreaker even if you're against a lot of ranged champions, or again, if you're just like snowballing. I think Stridebreaker with the new attack damage is unreal on a champion like Fiora. The slow as well is really useful, so you can land the actual vitals from your ultimate. So yeah, Fiora is here as well. I don't really need to talk too much about these champions, I don't think, but yeah, Fiora is here, amazing champion. Now moving into the jungle, coming in at number 3, we have a champion who likes to abuse that new Stridebreaker because of the extra attack damage, this being Rek'Sai. So if you're going Stridebreaker Rek'Sai into Edge of Night, into whatever boots you need to go, amazing champion. And really a couple of patches ago in 13-11 when they buff Rek'Sai as well, you actually like pair this with the Stridebreaker buff. Rek'Sai's amazing. She's an awesome champion as well in solo queue because so many people are making mistakes. Like after you finish Red Krug's Raptors, you're probably going to be able to gank a lane or invade the enemy jungler and kill them, and yeah, just get snowballing. Once you get to Stridebreaker as well, the actual stickiness you have with that item because of the slow, really useful for Rek'Sai, because you can get kited really easily, especially if you don't have your flash right. So yeah, awesome patch for Rek'Sai again. Now coming in as the second best jungler, another amazing patch for him, this being Rengar. So Rengar with Dustblade, I mean, you can still go stuff like Ghostblade, no worries, but honestly Dustblade, because of the extra damage this is dealing, and earlier now as well because of the changes last patch, this is here to stay. And in 13-12, Rengar, I also think because he's one of the most innately broken champions I've ever seen in my life, he has to be here too. Takes a lot to learn though, so don't expect, you know, after 50 games even, you're going to even come close to mastering this champion. Again, check out the GameLeap website for all the Rengar guides you will need. But coming in at number 1, a champion who is almost uncounterable in the jungle unless you're playing something like Nidalee into her, this is Kindred. Kindred with Trinity Force. Guys, name a better duo. There is not one out there, bro. Like this combo, unless one of them gets nerfed, they're going to be the number 1 jungler, I think, for eternity. You know that. So Kindred with Trinity Force, again, it takes a little bit to learn her. So in terms of like spacing and kiting, knowing how to use your Q and getting like max damage off is really important. Lots of Kindred players, even Kindreds I've coached in Platinum and even Diamond like Elo, they just Q in without auto-attacking first. You're missing out on DPS and Conqueror stacking, so that's important. And you can also run Press the Attack, by the way, if you're into very squishy champions, especially if the enemy jungler is very squishy. So think about that as well. Anyway, Kindred number 1 for the junglers. Let's move to the mid lane. Number 3, this is Annie. And Why is it Annie? Well, because she's not getting nerfed, and yeah, just play Annie. I mean, there's nothing else to say here, guys. Like, seriously, ever since they changed Lost Chapter as well to be like 1100 gold, it accelerates your scaling, right, and allows you to play the laning phase, like spamming spells and being aggressive. I just think it's amazing for her, and yeah, she's still innately broken. Just like Rengar, she's almost the Rengar of mid laners in a way, but maybe the number 1 mid laner takes the crown for that. Anyway, Annie is number 3. Moving on to number 2. This is a champion who I talked about yesterday, right? And no doubt it will like maybe cause a bit of commotion because it's really weird, like me saying it. But this is LeBlanc. And the reason LeBlanc's here is because there's some tech that has come out, maybe from last patch, but definitely this patch, because Static Shiv as a rushed item is really good now because it's dealing more damage earlier in a game. On a champion like LeBlanc, yes, okay, you're not building attack damage, of course, but there is magic damage in the Shiv with the actual auto attack, right? And when you pair this with Fleet Footwork as your keystone and a bit of alacrity and the rest of that precision rune page, LeBlanc is a scary mid laner because no longer are you going to have to use your distortion to clear waves as much as you currently or used to do anyway. You can just auto attack your way through waves, and the actual damage Static Shiv deals, even if it's just in a combo against the enemy champion and you have that energized attack, it feels amazing. Like, there's a reason why it has such high win rates and high reloads. So please, guys, if you're playing LeBlanc, try this build. Do not go electrocute, do not go first strike or something else, I don't know what you're going, but stop it and just go Fleet Footwork into Static Shiv into Luden's Tempest. Number 1 for the mid laners is Nico. And yeah, kind of just like the Rengar for mid laners, I guess, innately busted. Doesn't even matter, like probably if you go on hit Nico, yeah, with like Blade of the Rune King or Kraken or something, the champion is amazing. Because of all the recent buffs to Nico, she's just unreal. You can blind pick her, you can counter pick her, you're going to be useful in every single game no matter what, because with Rocket Belt you have amazing kind of like gap closing and playmaking potential, and in the majority of elos, people are going to be bundled up and not going to be thinking about you, and even disguising yourself as a minion or something will probably catch people out. So yeah, she's number 1, and the stats also back this up. Now moving down to the bot lane here, the 3rd best bot laner. Notice how I haven't said AD carry here. This is Karthus. Reason being is because close range bot lane is back in the meta, bruh. Because Ardent Sensor has been nerfed. Lots of those Enchantresses got nerfed as well. Lulu, Milio, right? Yumi got nerfed in 13-12. So now we're starting to see once again an engaged bot lane meta. Why is it good for Karthus? Let's have a think. That's because Karthus loves close range champions because he can use his passive, he can use his defile, landing layways. It's easier against those close range champions, right? Because again, your W can land into multiple layways instead of just like one against a Caitlyn and then you just lose the fight anyway because you can't run forward into her. So yeah, just be careful about picking Karthus though, guys, into those ranged bot lanes, especially. Those are the champions you're going to see for most of the game, so be careful about that. But Karthus is here. Check the stats as well for me. Incredible win rates. Probably the highest out of all these champions as well. Now, the 2nd best AD carrier is someone who's become a lot better ever since they buffed Trinity Force. Who is it? This is Ezreal. Now, Ezreal isn't like the most amazing, I don't think, AD carrier in terms of like, he gives a lot of other champions free lanes, but he's so powerful because of Trinity Force. It's just like the Kindred syndrome, I guess. With Trinity Force, it makes them a 10 times better champion. Ezreal, that's exactly the same. I said in yesterday's video, you can always consider going Cerulean's Grudge as your 3rd item if the enemy team is quite scary and you might not have the best peeling support in the world, so you might need Grudge to peel yourself. But if you feel like you're really confident and you're snowballing and you're going to get fed and you're going to dodge everything, Ravenous Hydra. It will enhance your DPS so much. But the best AD carry, guys, by far is Draven. This champion I think should be picked and banned, seriously. So if you can't play him, obviously check out the website to learn how to play him really well. But yeah, ban him if you're not. Because Kog'Maw got nerfed, Zeri got nerfed. Every AD carry that was competing with Draven last patch has been nerfed. He is now the standalone number 1. So Draven is the number 1 AD carry, guys, for 13-12. Now moving down to the 3 best supports for 13.12. And again, guys, if you are enjoying our recent uploads, please let us know by leaving a like down below. Coming in at number 3 is the only Enchantress type support, I guess, on this countdown, this being Senna. Milio nerfed, Lulu nerfed, Yumi nerfed, Zeri nerfed, Kog'Maw nerfed. Yes, Senna might be able to pair well with those champions, but every other support has been nerfed who you might pick instead of Senna. Senna, yes, her big weakness is getting engaged on, right? Because you are going to die. But if you can space properly, if you can pick her into a free lane as well, like if they blind pick Milio, if they blind pick Taric or something, a champion who can never get onto you, Senna is amazing. You outscale every support, and there are also some really interesting builds out there. Of course, you can still go like Eclipse, Rapid Fire Cannon did get nerfed this patch, so maybe that's a little bit annoying. But of course, you can go Ginsu's Rage Blade now because of the extra AP you have, and you have AP in your kit. So there's a bunch of builds out there, and statistically, Senna's really good in every elo, so I thought I'd just put her at number 3. Number 2, this is the crank, Blitzcrank. And Blitzcrank is here, guys, for another patch. Glacial Augment, it's really threatening, right, to a lot of supports and AD carries. AD carries as well, like Draven, all those immobile ones. Blitzcrank does really well into. Just remember that Ezreal is meta at the moment, so if you pick Blitzcrank, you might even want to ban him, or maybe a champion like Morgana. But anyway, Blitzcrank is here. Amazing stats, and again, really good with Glacial Augment. He's here to stay. but the +1 champion, guys, despite getting changed in this patch, is Rel. I'm not even going to get into the changes. A W max Rel with Glacial Augment, amazing. 55+% win rates in higher reloads. If you are not learning this champion, and again, check out our website for all the guides you need. If you are not playing this champion, learn her. If you are not playing this champion and don't want to learn her, like Draven, you should probably think about banning her. She's that powerful. She's definitely the best support at the moment, so watch out for Rel in 13-12, and those guys were the 3 most broken champions for each role in this patch. Let us know down below your thoughts. Any questions, of course, leave them in the comment section, and until our next Season 13 upload, this has been Code Cheeks. Peace!